Hello there, folks. DJ Burgstarre here, back with another tip of the day. So today I want to discuss how to insert true silence, because Ableton has a feature where you can insert silence, but it actually doesn't insert true silence. What it gives you is it gives you an empty measure, or however measures you want to put in that stop the music from playing, but it doesn't stop the reverbs and the delays and all the effects you had on your tracks. And so it's not really giving you true silence. It's giving you just a kind of stops the music but leaves all those trailing effects. But sometimes you want true silence, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So you might be thinking one way of doing this would be to take your master track and just do a little automation where you're cutting out the volume completely and then bringing it back. But that doesn't work, because what you want to do during the silenced area you put in potentially is to put in another sound. And if your master volume has been cut all the way down because you wanted complete silence, you're not going to be able to hear, any kind of sound effect or what you wanted to put in that silenced area. So let me show you what we're working with here. And I intentionally put a lot of effects and delays and reverbs on this to sort of make it stand out more. But let's listen to what we have going. Okay, that's cool and all, but I wanted a break right here where I wanted to put in, some silence, and then have his sort of robot voice come in during that silenced area. So what you might do is click here and then say, okay, I want some silence right here. And if you hit Command I, you can put in however long you want that silence to be. Let's just make it one measure. And then I also want some silence over here too, where this next piece of vocal comes in. And so I'm going to put one measure here as well of silence. And now I've got some silence, but let's listen to that, because it's not exactly silent. I am not a robot. You hear all that stuff in there? Let's play it again. I am not a robot. I am not. Okay, it's great. We've got a piece of silence, but again, it's not completely silent. So what we're going to do is we have to convert this to audio first, and then we can cut out this silent part, or make it true silence. So here's what we're going to do, because we can't just do an automation on the master, because I want to put something there. So what you do is you select the tracks that have all of this reverb and delay on them. And I know there are these tracks right here. So I'm going to highlight these 5 tracks, I guess it is. And they're all named, so I'll know what these are later when I make my stems. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to make stems out of this. And so it says clap and impact and hi-hat and my different instruments here, and I know what those are. And so what you do is you come over to File, say Export, and then here at the top, it's usually defaulting to master. And you want to put this on individual tracks or selected tracks. And that's what we're doing, because we selected these 5 tracks, and those are the ones I want to work with. And you want to make sure this is the length, giving yourself a little extra for the trails at the end or whatnot. And then we're doing this, as a wave file, not just a MP3 or anything. And this will export all of the stems. And you want to kind of do this when you're sort of, kind of done with the writing process, because, once you've made this into audio format, you can't, manipulate the MIDI at that point. So this would be done sort of at a later stage when you're kind of, mixing and mastering this track and adding effects and doing stuff. So anyway, when we hit export now, I'm going to save this to a folder on my desktop called stems here, and we'll say save. Now it's going to render each one of these that I've selected over here as an audio format. And in that way, we can get true silence into this area instead of having all those reverbs and delays and all that kind of stuff. So let's do this. All right, so I'm going to open up my folder on the desktop that just saved all of those, and we're just going to bring them in one by one. So I'm going to pull in the first one here, and then move it all the way over. Oh, come on, there we go. And we'll take the next one, and so on. Okay, we'll take the next one here, and the last one. Okay, so now we have all of these tracks. Let's minimize the view a bit here so we can see them a little better. Okay, so now what I can do is I can just sort of highlight this area that I wanted true silence. And I'm just going to delete that. And same here. This is where I wanted my silence. Just going to cut that out completely. And I'm going to move over this audio that I wanted on here. There we go. In that little spot that I wanted to put some sound effect or whatnot. I also wanted my kick drum to hit one more time here, so I'm going to move that over. Excuse me. All right, and I'm going to do the same over here with this silence spot. I wanted this one last kick. Okay. All right, so now when we play this, you'll hear that it's completely silent. And what we'll do is we'll mute the original tracks we had, so we can just hear the, whoops, not the kick drum there, just the original tracks that we wanted to have silent. All right, so now it's just going to be playing our audio formatted song tracks with complete silence. So let's hear what this sounds like now. So let me move this out of the way and we'll listen to just that spot right there. I am not a robot. Totally dead. Really awesome. No sound at all. So whatever sound effect or whatever you wanted to do in this silenced area, you'll have pure silence now instead of all those trailing reverbs and that kind of thing. And I've heard a lot of tracks that do this, that really want complete silence there instead of all those trailing things, which has a different sound. Now, maybe you want a little bit of that trail of some reverb on some things, but what's cool is you can select the tracks that maybe you didn't want. So you don't have to do them all. You might only do it to 2 of them or even just 1 of them that you just say, ooh, I don't want that trailing into my song. So you just make a stem out of it and bring it in as audio and then cut the slice out. That's audio, and you'll have true silence instead of all that trailing stuff that's in there. right, so that's my tip of the day. If you want true silence, you really can't do it when you've got MIDI tracks going. You've got to convert it to stems and then cut out that piece of audio that had the trailing stuff in it, and you will get complete true silence. All right, well, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. DJ Burgstarre out.